This is your application specialist, Mike Emmerich at FREY Municipal Software. Today, I will be demonstrating the new features, improvements, and refinements of the BUCS 21 release. This will be a wonderful opportunity to explore and learn how to get more value from your BUCS accounting system. I have a list of items to share with you in today's demonstration, so let's get started. The first item on the list is in the journal entry program. So if we go to General Ledger, Posting Entry, hit OK, I'm going to show this to you. All rental. You're going to be able to use a number 1 for debits and a number 2 for credits. This will help keep your hands on the numeric keypad, and it will translate into the proper TTPP code for real cash activity. So if I want to do the hall rental at $275, 01311101001. It's the rental fees. Now here I'm going to do a number 2 for credit. We're going to credit the revenue account, $275. Now I'm going to debit the cash account. You can also do a D or a letter C for debit or credit, or number 1 for debit or 2 for credit. So we're going to debit the cash, so that's a 1. Now just to hit the expenses for the fun of it, let's just do office supplies, and we want to debit that, so I'm going to do a number 1, and you'll see it translate to expense period debit, $25. And then now I'm going to hit the cash account, credit that, that's number 2, $25. The second feature that we added in the journal entry program is the option to reverse entries next period. And instead of using the current date, we're going to allow you to change it to the date that you want it to be, which is usually the first day of the month. So that will be October 1st, 2021. So I can hit OK to post, and now take care of that, and it will also reverse the entries next period. Item number 2, fund report. We added a new suppress month-to-date, year-to-date change column on the report. So let me show you the fund report as is. And that's going to show you 5 columns: beginning balances, debits, credits, ending balance, and then month-to-date change, along with year-to-date changes. Some people wanted this last column eliminated because it was confusing to board members and council members. They were thinking that was the ending balance. So let's hit close. Go back to fund report. And let's use this option, suppress month-to-date, year-to-date change column on a report. And you'll see it eliminates this last column. So now it's very clean. So now you see that your beginning balances for the month and year-to-date, month-to-date debits and credits, and then your ending balance. Okay, so if you like that report, which I believe is a lot cleaner, you can click on Close, go to Preferences, click on Reports, go to your fund report, suppress month-to-date, year-to-date change column on the report. Hit OK, and every time you go into the fund report now, that'll automatically be checked, and you will have a very clean report, as shown right there. So if you like that, go ahead and put that in your preferences and use it forever. It's also in the report scheduler, and it's in your future period fund report. The next item on the list is under the expense reports, and that's where we are giving you the option of exclude accounts with no encumbrance year-to-date balance. So with that turned off, let me show you. Here's a normal expense report. And a normal expense report is going to show you every line item that belongs to that report, whether it has a purchase order or not. Okay, so salaries don't have purchase orders, vacation expense don't have purchase orders. Okay, so, but repairs and maintenance has 2 POs for a total of $19.50. Computer supplies has 1, and computer equipment has 2. And then you're just seeing the normal expense accounts. So this is a 4-page report. And if I'm only interested in line items that have encumbrances or purchase orders on them, I can now use this new feature. So I'm going to hit close, click on exclude accounts with no year-to-date encumbrance balance, and I'm only going to see line items that have a purchase order attached to it. So this is a clean 1-page report. Show me a clear picture that there's only 3 expense line items in this whole report that have POs outstanding. So this is very, very easy to look at for some of the various departments, police, fire, etc., that are just interested in outstanding purchase orders by line item. They're going to easily be able to see it with this new feature. If you like this feature and you want it on all the time, you can put it in preferences, go to reports, and under the expense report, you can click on exclude accounts with no year-to-date encumbrance balance. I really don't feel it's a feature that you want on all the time. It's just nice to be able to see it when you want to. Item number 4 is in the budget planning section under budget amendments. And here we're giving you an account number range, a from range, and a to range. So if you're only interested in department number 5, you could deal with that. Also, we're giving you the ability to choose between, are you amending the expense part of the budget or the revenue part? So if it's only the expenses, you can click on expense only. And if you're interested in just Fund 5, you can do 05 to 06. Hit OK. Let's see the expense accounts for Fund 5. Cancel out. And if you want to do the revenue section, click on revenues, and you only see the revenue accounts for Fund 5. Item number 5 is also in the budget planning section. And under the revised transfer plan, we're giving you the same options where you have an account number range from and to, and you got your account types of revenue and expense. So again, if I'm working in Fund 5 to Fund 6, changing the expenses only, click on OK, and here's your original budget. And if you want to change the budget in any way, bump it up to like 1800, and the system will do a journal entry for the difference, adding $600 to the budget. And if you're dropping this one, let's just say you're taking that down to 2000, system will do a journal entry lowering the original budget from $2,400 down to $2,000. So it's going to do a journal entry basically saying expense appropriation credit. So the TTPP code it was going to do is EAC. Item number 6 is regarding combining reports and being able to choose between 1 record and 4 records. So we made a preference for that. So if you click on preferences, scroll down toward the bottom, second from the bottom, you're going to see combining account maintenance. Double click on that, and here's where that new option is. Record generation, do you want it to default to 4 records or 1 record? Pick the one that you need, then click OK, and the preference system will remember that forever for you. You'll have to do that for each and every user that uses combining reports. Each and every user has their own preference. The next option we're giving you the ability to change is in graphical analysis. So here I'm going to go to graphical analysis, fund account analysis. And here you're seeing Fund 1, 5, 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 90. If I want to eliminate the refuse fund and the indirect cost fund from this pie chart, what I can do is now go to General Ledger, Fund Control, go to 60 and hit Edit, Click on this new feature that we're giving you, exclude fund from fund account analysis. And I'm going to click on next, go to fund 90, exclude that from the analysis, and click OK. I'm going to hit close, go back to graphical analysis, fund account analysis, and now those two funds are missing from this pie chart and from this grid. So to make any changes like that, a lot of you have bond funds and things like in the 800 or 900s. You can go to every one of those in the fund control and click on exclude from fund account analysis. The 8th item on our list is projects maintenance. Where in projects maintenance, we switched the order of the tabs. So if I go into view, the note tab used to be first and the paid invoices was last. So the main reason we did that is because some of the projects didn't have any notes. People were thinking they weren't used. So by showing you the paid invoices first, you're going to see if anything has been paid on those projects. Also at the bottom of the screen, you're going to notice that we added an invoice range, date range, and amount ranges. So if you're looking for any invoices greater than $500 as an example, you can key in $500, hit refresh, it'll show those two invoices. If I want to see anything greater than $1,000, hit refresh, it'll show you the one invoice that's greater than that, and there's your $20,000. If I go back to zero, hit refresh, I see everything has been paid. Over here you see so far we paid $20,800 on the project. If you click on notes, it says project is 75% complete, waiting on lighting, fixtures, and fencing. If you wanted to get a list of all the paid invoices, keep everything open, click on print paid invoices, passes all the information over to the paid invoice report that you're interested in this specific project, 2021-001. You hit OK, you hit preview, and you get a list of everything that's been paid for on that particular project. So that's what we've done so far in the projects area. The next item in the BUCS release is in vendor maintenance. There have been multiple changes in vendor maintenance, and the first one is we let you put in a default description. And that default description will appear in encumbrance maintenance, standard encumbrances, adding an invoice, or a standard invoice. So this example here is I put in a monthly bill space dash, and then I can put in September 2021, October 2021, stuff like that. The next feature we added is in the Remit Addresses Account Favorites tab. And this is where you can click on Add and add your accounts for this vendor that you typically use. If you put in an account number in here by mistake, you're going to be able to hit delete and get rid of it. If you want to add more accounts, you can click on Add. You can do a search. And I've been adding telephone, so I'm going to add account number 50 to that, and then hit OK. Now to show you this, if I hit close, and I go to encumbrance maintenance, click on Add, search for Cincinnati Bell, put in my PO number, see where it says monthly bill, I can put in September 2021. So that's an example of how that works. Due date, and then my default account number pops up. And if I click on asterisk, my account favorites will also appear. So maybe I'm charging this to fund 50, and I'm going to do the other $150. So that's how the accounts favorite works. and that will pass over to the invoice program. Okay, cancel out, and then close. In the vendor maintenance program, under the print button, there's a favorites report. In this favorite report, if you take the time to run it and hit OK Preview, it's going to show you the vendors that you took the time to add a particular set of GL account numbers, which we call favorites. If you take the time to go ahead and do this, it's going to help the employees choose the correct account number to use for this particular vendor for most of the items that you typically add. I'll just make it easier for you and less changes for the finance department as far as corrections go and things of that nature. The next option that we edit in vendor maintenance is under delete, and it's bulk delete, where this used to show 2 years or 730 days, and then this used to show 90 days as far as the temporary vendors. So I don't have any temporary vendors, so I'm going to turn that off. And on my permanent vendors, if I want to delete all vendors that have no activity on them since 2014, I can put in 12, 31, 14. When I hit the enter key, all these 2015s will go away because I want to keep them. And I'm left with 2014 and possibly before. So I'm going to hit select all and click OK, and those vendors have been deleted. Under the bulk inactivation button, vendors that have no activity before a date range is shown, which is 2 years. Before it used to show 730 days. Now it's 2 years before the current date. So if I want to change that and make everything before 2015 inactive, I can just change this right here. Say 12/31 2014. So everything in 2014 and before, of December 2014 and before, is only shown on my grid. So I can say select all, hit OK, and now all of those vendors are now inactive. Under vendor labels, there's an option that says the only include vendors that have activity in the last number of days has been replaced with only include vendors that have had activity since a date. The default for this date is determined by the number of days that are defined in the preferences. So if I click on labels here, we're talking about this field here. Only include vendors that have activity since 9/27/2019. That is 730 days, and that's based off what we have in the preferences file. And that's over here, preferences, go to vendors, and then go to labels, and our default for that field is 730 days. If you want to make that higher, you can. You don't have to use it at all, or you can have it as a default of using only printing labels that you've dealt with vendors for the last 2 years. The next item is under the vendor short report. So to show you that, we're going to go to vendor maintenance, click on print, go to short report, and this is the print default account and description line, and before it was the print default account line. So what this is going to do now, by clicking that, it's also going to include that new default description that we got for encumbrance maintenance when you're adding encumbrances and when you're adding invoices and invoice maintenance. So here in Ace Hardware, there's miscellaneous hardware for the default description. American Express says monthly bill. American Red Cross says donation. Monthly payment for American Retirement Planning. Cincinnati Bell is monthly bill, and that's the one you see me add before. The 12th item on our list is an encumbrance maintenance. For users with the requisition control module, there is now the ability to reduce an encumbrance. The new reduce feature allows an encumbrance amount to be reduced, along with the ability to delete or edit the encumbrance line items. When editing an encumbrance detail item, the amount will only be allowed to be reduced from the amount currently remaining on the detail item. When reducing the encumbrance, only the amount information will be allowed to be changed. To help limit which users have the ability to edit this information, there is an Enable Reduce button and Encumbrance Maintenance checkbox inside of User Security. This gives the ability to assign who has the ability to perform this function at the user level. To show you this, I'm going to take you into File, Utilities, Security, and show you that option. So if we go into the master group, click on BUCS, click on Edit, this option right here, Enable Reduce button and Encumbrance Maintenance for requisition control people. So you click on that, hit OK, and then close. So now if I go to Payables, Encumbrance Maintenance, and I see this PO for $1,050, and let's say I think I only need $400 left on that, so I'm going to free up the other $650. So what I need to do is click on Reduce and change this to $400. So then I need to go to each line item and say I only need $200 of that. Go to the next one, 550, change that to 200. So the total amount of 400 here equals the two line items of 200 each. 400 equals 400, hit OK. The purchase order total does not equal the encumbrance amount. Do you wish to continue? We're going to say yes, because the original PO document was a higher amount. That's okay. And now it's $400. The system just went ahead and made the entries to free up the extra money and made the journal entry, so we'll see it in the posting analysis print program. We're now on item number 13, which involves invoice processing, and we added a sort sequence to invoice processing. So let's go to invoice maintenance. Here's our 4 invoices. In the sequence, you always had vendor name, invoice, and vendor number. Now you can sort by claim number. So clicking on that, I see claim 1200, 1201, 1202, 1203. If you like that sort sequence and you want to use it by default, click on Close, go to Preferences, go to Invoice Processing, change the invoice sequence to claim number, and hit OK. The next exciting feature that we put in invoice maintenance is the ability to send the report to Excel. So when you click on Print, go to Invoice Report. You now have the Excel button here. And now you got your invoice report in an Excel spreadsheet. So then you can save that with your monthly reports. The next option that was added in invoice maintenance is in this load area. So when you click on load and you load individually, a sort sequence was added by vendor number. Before you only could do it by record ID and vendor name, but now you got the vendor number option. You click on that and puts your standard invoices in vendor number order. Close out of here, click on load, and click on selectively. Put in a due date and my invoice date. Now here on your sequence, we added a vendor name sequence and a record ID sequence. Before, it only showed you in vendor number order. Now it's in vendor name and record ID sequence. So whatever one's helpful for you, you can use. Next option is item number 14. We added a month and year range in the paid invoices. So let's cancel out of here. Payables, paid invoices, and the options were added for month and year in the View, Report, and Purge programs. So if you want to view everything from May of 2015 to May 2015, just key in those dates here, And when you hit OK, you're going to get a list of every invoice that was paid in 2015 in the month of May. So you can see here in red, May of 2015 and the date paid. And you can click on next and go through them and hit previous and go back to the previous invoices in the grid. So when I close out of here, hit cancel. That's also going to be in the report program and in the purge program also. So if you want to purge everything, but it keeps 7 years, you don't have to put a date range anymore. You can just go to month and year. So if you got a 7-year retention policy and you want to keep that and maybe a little bit more, I usually just use 01/1980 as the start date. Then let's just delete through December 2013. And then you click on delete. It'll say, are you sure you want to delete these paid invoices? Now, make sure that you do a backup before you do anything like this, because if you put in the wrong range or the wrong date, you might delete everything by accident. And before you do a backup, you got to click on the active user icon and make sure that nobody else is in the system when you do a backup. Otherwise, you'll have a bad backup. So make sure everybody's out of the system before you use the purge option. Click on yes, and it'll go ahead and delete all invoices through December 2013. The next new feature is item number 15, paid invoice change image. So if we use the drop-down menu, payables, paid invoices, change image, that's the new program that was added that will let you add an image to multiple invoices at the same time. So if I click on change image and I want to do it for vendor number 10, hit OK. That's Ace Hardware. Then I can select an image, put the image path up here. There's the Ace invoice. Then click on the ones I want, and I want it on every one of them is my example. Then if you hit OK, it'll put this image in this image path over here. Click OK. And if I do it again, you'll see the images are on there. Item 16 involves the check reconciliation, where there is now the ability to not default the clear date when going into check reconciliation. That means that you get the key and the date yourself, opposed to letting the system default to the current date. So if I click on cancel here, cancel out this, go to general ledger, go to system controls, click on edit, go to the accounts payable tab. In the check reconciliation area, turn off the default clear date that's on by default. And if I'm manually clearing checks and I want to put in my date myself, I can click on prompt for clear date when manually clearing checks. And if I wanted to default the clear date, I can do that, but I don't want to. So I'm going to click OK. I don't want to change the crystal path and get out of here. So now when I go into check reconciliation, the clear date is not filled in. So if I need to backdate that to August 31st, I can do so. And when I'm clearing checks manually, when I click on cleared, instead of the date already being populated with today's date, it will let me put in the actual date that the check cleared. So then I can go back to August 31st, 30th, or whatever it might be. So that's how that feature works. Item number 17 is in the bank report area, and we are now giving you an option to print the vendor address. So if I hit the escape key on here, cancel out and click on reports, bank report, And if I want to report on all the cleared checks, for example, and then I want to print the vendor address lines on the report, I click this option. Here's your new option, print vendor address line on report. You hit OK and hit preview. And it's going to give you the vendor address just like it would in a label. So you can see that right here. So if you like the vendor name and address appearing on the bank report, you can create a preference for that. So that will always be checked by default. So let's close out of here. Click on Preferences. Down to the Payables area, Bank Reconciliation. Click on the bank report. Then this feature right here, Print Vendor Address Lines on a Report. Click on that and click OK. And by default, that will always be checked for you, and you'll get the vendor address on the report. On item number 18, the 1099 print has been changed to allow you to print up one line if needed on the printed forms. To do that, you're going to go to General Ledger, System Controls, Edit, go to the Accounts Payable tab, click on the 1099 Information button, and you're now able to move up one line on the 1099 form. Beyond that, this information here, the 1099 information and the additional 1096 information, is being carried forward to the 1099 miscellaneous print and the 1099 NEC form print. So to show you that, we're going to go to Payables, Vendors Maintenance, 1099 print, the NEC. See, this information is carried forward. So if that information is wrong, the address has been changed, you know to go back into System Controls and change it, or you can change it on the fly here. If I go to Payables, Vendors, 1099 print, the miscellaneous, you can see the same information, 1099 company information, additional 1096 information. So you can change that as needed. Item number 20 on the release letter is changes to the cash receipt history. So if I go to receivables, cash receipts, go down to history. Two changes are an amount range has been added and a deposit number range has been added. So if you're interested in seeing anything, let's just say in my demo data, I want to see everything that's $200. Go $200 to $200. The grid clears and shows you just the one entry for $200. I want to go back and change everything to unlimited. And then I want to see deposit number 7 to deposit number 7. Then I only see that specific deposit number. So those are two fields that were added to the cash receipts history. Item 21, fee receipt clients. There are now custom fields available for the fee receipt clients. To set this up, you go to General Ledger, System Controls, Edit, go to Fee Receipts, and here you see your client custom fields, alphabetic, numeric, amount, and date. You have 10 alphabetic and numeric, 3 amount and date fields. If I go to Receivables, Fee Receipts, go to Clients, go to Maintenance, do a View, click on Custom Fields. You now see those fields in the actual client. The first 3 custom alphanumeric and the first 3 custom numeric fields will appear as sort sequence options in Fee Receipt Client Maintenance and the Fee Receipt Client Search if those fields are being used. Item 22 is the AR Customer Brief Report. It now has the ability to send the report to Excel for anyone that has the Data Dictionary module. To show you that, go to Receivables, Customers, Reports, Brief Report. Now you see the Excel button here. Now you can get your customer listing in Excel. Item 23 is in the fixed asset module. When editing an asset, there is now the ability to use the next and previous buttons. So to show you that, let's cancel out of this. Go to Fixed Assets, Asset Master File, Maintenance, click on Edit, and now you're going to see the next and previous buttons working. So I can click on Next and go to the next items. And then I can click on Previous and go to the previous item. Item 24 on our list is the Brief Asset Listing Report. When the sold or retired status checkboxes are checked, there is now the sold retired date range that can be entered. Also, when an asset has a sold or retired status, the sold or retired date will print after the status on the report. To show you this, let's click on Print, go to Brief Asset Listing Report. On the status, I'm going to turn off Active, and over here is our sold retired date range. I'm going to click on Retired and Sold. Then I want to see everything that was sold on August 31st or retired on August 31st. Hit OK and Preview. Two assets show on the report. First one shows sold and it shows you the date. And the second one shows retired and it shows the date. The last item added to BUCS 21 is item 25. Advanced Allocation Posting. There have been a couple of changes to the Advanced Allocation Posting. They are as follows. The GL account description has been added to the lines that have the GL account number on them on the Advanced Allocation Report that prints after the allocation has been posted. The GL account descriptions will also appear on the report when printed from the Advanced Allocation Report reprint. So let's go to the reprint and take a look at that. File, Utilities, Advanced Allocation Report reprint. Let's hit OK here and hit Preview. So now you see the GL account numbers. Before you never seen the descriptions with it. So now we added the descriptions with the account number. The journal entry note for the Advanced Allocation Posting has been added to the Advanced Allocation Report that prints after the allocation has been posted. The note will also appear on the report when printed from the Advanced Allocation Report reprint. Note that only entries posted after installing BUCS 21 will have the journal entry note available to print on the reports printed from the Advanced Allocation Report reprint. This concludes the BUCS 21 release presentation. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and picked up on many items that will enhance your daily BUCS experience. If you have any questions on any of the material I covered in this presentation, please don't hesitate to contact support at FREY. We will be happy to assist.